see how I look.
Oh. You look bad.
What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Shannon. I've never had anybody pull a. It's your girl Shannon.
Put it up to your mouth.
Oh,
Pause. There you go.
what's going on, everybody? It's your girl Shannon,
It's your man Terrence J.
and this is
The Last Podcast.
I'm gonna ask, why is this the last podcast? This is probably gonna get us.
Just fixing the mic. Mic work.
That's what she said.
That's what.
And
she
why is
said.
this the last podcast, Terrence J?
Because depending on what we say or what we do, this could quite possibly be
The last podcast. I'm trying to show my hands because I'm taking these nails off and they look really raggedy. I need to start over the new set. So
They can't see him that far. You good? You all right? Yo,
I wash my hands every time I watch this playback. The
you
playback.
watch your hands?
Yeah,
I
because I talk with my hands. See, I can't even.
what was that move right there?
I talk with my hands, so they have to move. I'm
You look like
I'm very demonstrative.
You look like your bust was shorter than the rest of us when you did that. Yo,
possibly
listen,
be.
shout out. I gotta give a big shout out to Melissa Collier with I Drink Politics on Instagram for coming in, filling in on the 101. So for those of you who are watching it right now, so I do this thing that's called Last Podcast 101, where I get a chance to sit down one-on-one and talk to people. So I know people wonder, like, where is Shannon? She's here.
I'm
here.
here.
She is.
I'm here.
So
Thank you to everyone.
y'all know I'm a real journalist, so I actually interview people and things like that.
I love the everybody who reached out to me and was like, "Where the hell are you?" I had some family business I need to take care of, and I'm happy to be back. But shout out to
Marlissa.
Marlissa.
Yeah.
I was gonna call her Marissa, but I feel like there was an L in there. So
Yeah, Marlissa.
Marlissa. So shout out to Marlissa. Thank you for.
She said, "Listen," she was like, "Oh, I got to come back when Shannon's here." So
Yeah,
yeah.
because she probably was so bored with you. So, but shout out to her.
Wow.
Thank you for.
Even in the midst of a compliment, you just, yeah.
I gotta keep it real.
Got it.
I gotta stay true to who I am.
Yeah, so but also make sure you follow us on social media. It is The Last Podcast 1, and on Instagram is _The Last Podcast, and TikTok The Last Podcast. So please go on there and like our page and share it and watch the videos that we have put up for you. We didn't do our disclaimer. We already did a disclaimer, did we?
No, we didn't.
We did? I don't even know where it is. So we'll just give it to him. What's our disclaimer?
Listen, y'all know what the disclaimer is. Y'all should tell us what the disclaimer is.
Yeah, you should know it by now.
Nobody's watching right now, but
Yeah.
no.
Big call replay. Just don't do that. Don't do that. You mess with my whole thing. Okay.
Okay, what is the disclaimer? If you are easily offended by fat shaming,
We will still be friends after the show. Yeah, that's the first part.
Oh yeah, we will still be friends after the show, no
yeah.
matter what. 1 week off and
Yeah, and it goes.
Well, look, I'm out of sight, out of mind, girl. That's why it's easy for me to move on from my relationships. What was it again?
Move on from the last podcast and see what happened. I will find.
Actually, I have been asked by a couple of people to do a podcast. And I'm like, babe, I can barely make it to the last podcast,
Listen.
and I get free pretzels. Did I have said that? My bad. Pretzels be good. Though.
Yeah. Anyway,
If you were, you know what, the disclaimer is what it is.
Yeah.
Go back and look at past shows. I can't get it out.
All right.
We will still be friends no matter what. Okay.
Yeah.
Boom.
Listen.
Yes, he's fat. Yes, I'm gorgeous. Y'all see this so it is what it is. Keep going.
Is that what we're doing today?
Uh huh.
Okay. All right. The weekly rundown. Just a few topics since the last time we had a chance to talk to you, and the last time we've done a show that we want to get into and give you our spin on it. So, for the most part, I know a lot of you get your weekly news from the last podcast. So this is what we're doing. We're making sure we keep you up to date. And I got to give a shout out to somebody later on. I forgot to put. I was going to put their logo up there because he does great work. But we'll get into that in just a minute.
He owns the buffet.
He does not own the buffet because if he did, you would probably know.
Ooh.
But
Burn.
there was a shooting.
I'll get serious.
There was a shooting at Wilma Hutchins High School right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the ISD school. and there was a young man who ended up shooting four people inside of the school. And I know we see these school shootings, and a lot of times they are not local,
Mm-hmm.
and so you don't have a close connection with them. But this was right here in our backyard. There was
And it was one of our own. Let's make sure we say this was not a young white kid or
no.
this was a black child, a black male.
Yes, it was a black male, and also this was the second shooting at that school in 2 years. And so yeah, they had one last year, and so um, I'm listen. I'm trying to deliver this seriously, but because no, I'm saying because Wilma Hutchins used to be his own district. We just bought them into
Does
DISD.
he? And look what happened. Lord Jesus.
Don't do
You know
that.
what?
Don't do that.
Wilmer, Wilmer, get back out. We are products of the ISD, and we're the best. We're the creme de la creme. So what's that tell you? When I tell people,
We're not going to side note this right now.
When
We
I-
got
when
to
I
talk
tell-
about the kids.
yes, okay,
Let's talk about the
keep
kids.
it back.
Listen, So the thing is
But
that
do you get the same looks that I get when I say, yeah, I attended Kimball? I don't say I went. I attended Kimball. You attended Kimball? Yes, I did. Kimball High School, 1909. Okay, I grew up in Westwood Apartments, Westmoreland. Shout out to Brygate, and I can't remember the other apartments over there. But
hmm
Wilmer Hutchins, my bad.
thank you.
The ADD is really strong.
It was
It's because I'm tired.
it kicked in, and I knew not to get in the way.
Gotcha.
Uh,
But shout out to Kimball.
Listen,
But man, DISD, they brought him in, and now this is what happened because this never happened at Hutch. Someone must have to.
anyone. Okay.
Can you be serious about this?
Hell, I'm trying.
Oh, okay.
So, seriously, but the thing is, the young man came into the school. Allegedly, he didn't come through the school at the beginning of the day.
Mm.
He came in later and brought the gun in. So there's a video out that we believe to be video from inside the school, and if it is true, then he came into the school. He ended up going down one hallway, shooting one guy,
Yeah.
and then coming out and just randomly shooting in the hallway, hitting I think three other people. And there was one person that fell down, and he walked up on that person and shot him. Now, this same kid made a video driving, and somebody was recording him, and he was saying, they said they were going to kill me. They said so I wasn't going to let them kill me, so I went and got them first. And my question is, okay, so four people got shot. Did all four of them say they were going to kill you? Number one. Number two, the way, if this video is you in the hallways of Wilma Hutchins, and by other local news sources, they have supposedly verified this. You were just shooting into a crowd. So that video, allegedly, of you saying, hey, I was going to get the people saying to kill me is really bullshit. Because you start shooting into a crowd of students recklessly, not target anybody. And not that I would have wanted you to target anybody. I'm saying that video that you made to try to change the narrative in the story, the video of you in the school don't match you in the car. But I wanted to. I said I was going to give shout out to Smash the Topic. I don't have Smash the Topic's video up here because Smash the Topic was the one who was called when he turned himself in.
Yeah.
And Smash the Topic was there on the scene. If anybody from Dallas know.
And not from Dallas, so he's all over now.
Yeah, Smash the Topic, and he's at the crime scenes a lot of times before the police get there.
Right. He's at the crime scene sometime before the victims are there.
Exactly. And I was about to say he went to Kimball High School also.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Smash
did
went
he
to Kimball. I think he's like a year or two out of us. But yeah, Smash went to Kimball.
Younger than us?
After us, that means he's younger than us.
Thought he was older.
That's how math goes.
Daddy's D.
So you're not gonna do this right now.
This is when we're being affected.
You're not gonna do that right now. But shout out to him for always being out there on the scene. A lot of people following his page and look up Smash the Topic because he's gonna keep you up with the news. But he was called along with urban specialists to help the guy turn himself in. And I'm just me looking at the video, like I said, if this is allegedly him, then there are serious consequences that has to come his way, and I'm pretty sure he needed some help somewhere along the line. But
Well, so I saw the video of him in the car, and the first thing I thought was, okay, this guy sounds like he's in a manic state.
hmm
And it doesn't, I'm not a healthcare professional, behavioral health specialist, counselor, or psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm not any of those things, but I do recognize when someone is in a manic state. He did seem like he was in a manic state. That's not an excuse. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just letting you know what I observed. It is very sad that we are still having to deal with gun violence in this country when it concerns our children and our schools. And I remember when we were in school when
hmm
Columbine happened, and it was. I want to say it was on the news for almost a month straight. Like it was like we could not like it. We were so just like it was. We were so shocked.
yeah, because school was a safe haven.
School was a safe haven.
Um, During that time, how were you shocked? Were you like when you heard that news of Columbine? Did that rally you?
Because we were in Miss Boxing's class. Remember if Channel One was on? Remember the black dude named Craig? He was so cute.
Craig, yeah, and that's where what college was from. Lisa Ling, she started that too.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
on there.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, she went on there then, but what you asked me? Was I shocked?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that something that heinous had happened at a school.
And and
But now we see school shootings. We're like, oh,
but the thing is though, you gotta for me, we were walking through metal detectors. There was a reason. Because see, I had a lot of people that went to our school, went to Kimball before me, and I heard some of the stories.
well, I mean, the reason why if you know me, you know my cousins, the Thompsons. My cousin Jason, he actually played football for Kimball. He was the quarterback. Shout out to Coach Jones, R.I.P. And there was a shooting right in front of Kimball. I want to say a Hispanic guy got shot, and my uncle was like, "Nope, snatched them boys out of Kimball, and they went to Bishop Dunn." So I mean, that was a real like we had metal detectors in middle school. Remember when
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they would take the candy out? I mean,
So like
but it was still shocking though.
yeah, and but I remember conversations that even my dad would have about those schools didn't have metal detectors because they were deemed to be these safe places, and we had metal
Sorry,
detectors
y'all.
at our school because they were deemed to be these dangerous places, right? And
Yeah.
so when it happened there, I remember him saying, "Well, well, I mean, what did they expect? They have pretty much looked at the way society is and said, no, you kids are good, but these kids over here
They're bad.
are bad,
Yeah.
right?" But yeah, but I do remember it because it what we were used to was somebody got into it
They
and
were-
somebody tried to shoot somebody, maybe accidentally got somebody else or whatever. I don't hate to say it like lackadaisical, but it wasn't.
I wasn't used to.
I know.
What the hell are you used to? That didn't happen when we were in school.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Kimball was a wild place in the early '90s.
No, I said when you and I.
No, but
were there.
I had known all these stories.
Yeah.
But also in the hood, I had been around people who had shot people that they were after. There were some people from an area not too far from Kimball that somebody that got shot out in the corner of Westmoreland, right there where Brown is, and like we went to school with these people.
Oh, yeah.
So the thing is that it was like, yo, I'm gonna get
But
you.
but right, it's
Columbine
black on
was
black
totally
crime.
different.
It wasn't it wasn't a mass shooting
Mass
or something.
random
Yeah.
type thing. But I listen, I hate this for all the people involved. Thank God that as of now, there has been nobody that lost their life. Thank
No.
God for that. But the life that is lost is of Tracy Haynes because he's gonna go to prison.
Yeah.
And so that's another black man that will lose his life to the system.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about what could possibly happen when you go into prison, coming up pretty soon. You might not be at Louisburg or Huntsville. You might be in another country. But
This is true. I would implore you not to commit any crimes while this administration is in. Don't commit any crimes anyway. I'm not.
I was saying, don't wait to like come back like with a vengeance.
Yeah, but I'm
Don't do
just
that.
saying,
That's
be
not good.
mindful of how you move and how you respond to situations because we are under. We're in different times now.
Different
Okay,
times,
so
yeah. So
but my prayers go out to all the families and the children, staff, whoever who.
oh, you still wrapping up? Huh? My bad. Thought you moved on.
But it's fine.
Hey, come back.
Tots and pears. Tots and pears. Oh,
I don't even know what that means.
thoughts and prayers. Tots and pears.
Tots and pear. Oh,
Because that's what they say, thoughts and prayers. But we still haven't not had any type of legislation that helps us with gun control.
uh,
But
doesn't work.
we don't know.
That does because some of the most heavily gun controlled places still have a lot of these things going on. Chicago is heavily gun controlled. New York, you can't have a gun. Supposedly, how many people die from gun violence in New York? You can't have them. It's too many out here now.
But it's well, that's because the policies are weak. They're weak policies, but I mean, because there are loopholes to everything. But go on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's America, but
If you remember this picture that was flashed up on the news last week, it was these two individuals, and the guy on the left. His name is Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony was put in jail for the stabbing of the kid on the right, Austin. At first, the story came out, and everybody kept saying something's missing, something's missing, something's missing, right? Because the narrative was been spent one way, but they put $1 million bail on him. And what I heard some people say, there were several officers who were sworn officers of the law who had situations where their bond was not as high as this kid's was, and so they tried to start a GoFundMe, but GoFundMe turned it down, which I told you guys last week. Let's rock with those who rock with us. I think it's Give Sing Go, who the CEO said, no, we're not taking it down. We're going to allow them to do it because remember, GoFundMe allowed the Kyle Rittenhouse to stay up.
GoFundMe also allowed for George Zimmerman to pay for his legal fees, his legal team.
Yeah, but
and his wife.
In this case, not. But Carmelo got out on bond.
Praise God.
And so shout out to us coming together.
Yeah.
I
listen. I am so. I hate that we are in these times, but I really am so proud of Black people in general because this is the first time in my life that I've ever seen us really stand in solidarity for this long on just a myriad of issues, right? And how we came to this baby's defense and we all on WFAA Channel 8, letting these racist ass white people have it. And of course they're saying, Kyle Rittenhouse, this is a totally different situation. Of course it is a totally different situation because Kyle Rittenhouse came across state lines with a firearm, right?
Mm-hmm. That his mama drove
that
him.
His mama drove him.
Yeah.
But I am so glad that this child is out and he's home with his family. It is very unfortunate. Let me just say this: nobody should have to die in any situation, right? Taking a life is the ultimate. I mean, it's a fatal mistake, right? But I am happy that we did not. I'm happy that we didn't do this child the way we've done a lot of our other children before in different scenarios. Scenarios that were not even as heavy as this. And a lot of things are coming out about this story. And I remember when it first came out, my exact sentiments were, and I posted this on my social media, I'm going to reserve my judgment until I hear all the facts. Because like TJ said, when we first heard this, we were all like,
so and it's crazy because I was out of town. You know what I heard? I heard the way it made it seem like it seems like Carmelo went and told the guy to leave, and then he stabbed because he wouldn't leave. So that's how I first heard the story. So I was like, oh man, why did this happen? This and that. And then as I got back into the city and I started hearing more news stories, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And then the way the narrative was being painted, I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me he was sitting down, he got permission to sit down, and then this kid came in who has his twin brother who is now saying we don't know each other, but y'all got a picture together, and you try to take his bag, which is theft and robbery. It might have been a little self-defense. And also, let me ask, listen, we live in this area. Shannon, I don't think that you are walking around the streets of Little M and Frisco and things like that worried about the next gang that's coming up on you, right?
No.
So that means what? You bought the knife because it was something at that trap meet.
Yep.
That you were worried about.
Yep.
Just my assumption.
Yep.
Yeah.
I completely agree, and I I love the spin that they have tried to, that they've tried to come up with, but you start looking at the two families, and you start to say, the daddy was arrested for sexual assault.
Mm.
Both of the twins, their social media accounts, they probably have taken them down or scrubbed by now, but the twins have some very nefarious and questionable things on their social media account. This young man, Carmelo Anthony, he was an athlete. He, by all accounts, he seemingly was quite a bright child.
Yeah, he's a documented hero.
Yes, documented hero. He made a bad mistake, very bad, and we don't have to cut him all the way down in order for us to say this was a mistake. Like we can it's okay for Black people to say this was a mistake, but we're still going to put our love around him. And it's really sad that we are at the point in this country where we have to be like that, but we're not going to be apologetic about it because we didn't put ourselves in this situation. We were put in this situation. And I have noticed that a lot of these racist white people, they cannot believe that this is y'all's culture. Yeah, but y'all's culture is to rape and pillage. And so let's not go there about whose culture is what, right? But this is still a child. But I am extremely proud of the amount of love and support that our community, because I don't give a damn about nobody else's community but mine at this point. I am very proud that our community has stepped up and we have shown, the support that I feel like a lot of other people should have gotten in situations that were not even as bad as this. So.
Yeah, and so I'm pretty sure there's going to be more information to come. There was a witness who was kind of talking about it from a self-defense standpoint.
Yeah.
That said, hey, he saw the whole thing, and so I'm pretty sure this is gonna come out, and I think as time goes on, we're gonna even get some more information out because things keeps trickling out. But I'm just so glad that we were able to come together through just talking about this, through raising money, to say, hey, here's what we're not going to do.
Yeah.
We're not going to allow you to paint the picture. This could be one of a couple things. It could be true up, straight up, like I was in fear for my life, self-defense. And it could be a situation to where he felt he just didn't have any other option and maybe some other torture from what we've heard allegedly happened before.
Right.
That he said, because he said, touch me, do it again, ain't pretty.
And you finna see what's
you
going to happen.
happen.
So
that and here's the thing. I heard people say, well, that's a threat. No, not in our vernacular. That you've done this before and you're not going to do it again. So,
and here's the thing, Black, white, whatever, teach your children to leave people the hell alone. because you do not know what people have to go through. These kids are going through shit that we didn't even have to go through as and I thought and we came up in the crack era, right?
Yeah, we did.
Um but teach your kids on GP. If somebody's not messing with you, leave people alone. And bullies get killed. We're killing bullies now, right? So if your child is a bully and you know your child is a known bully, you might want to tell your child, listen, if you want your life, leave people the hell alone. Because, and I'm not condoning this, but people are tired. Kids are tired. Black kids are tired, right? Every the pressure is so high with everybody right now. It would be great if we could just lead in love, but that's not the life we're living.
No, because even if we suspected your mom was a crack crop, we all sung the song. Your mama's a crack. We bullied back then too. We was a lot tougher then.
I know, but I got in trouble for I didn't want to say her name, but I told her her mom was a crackhead, and that's why she smelled like pee and she don't have no hair. And I was proud to tell my mom that I stood up to my bully. Apparently, that didn't go well.
Well, hey.
That's when I was bullied, though.
Stand on business. All right. Listen.
But we're in continuous prayer for this young man.
We are.
The last podcast.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
So,
motherfucker here.
so with the tariffs real quick. So the thing is, these tariffs were put into place and then they were rolled back for 90 days, which in my opinion, we would never see the other side of the 90 days because Trump does this. Y'all remember when they were selling TikTok?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard anything about that again after the 90-day pause? No, you have not. Because he throws it out. He understands the attention span is so short that after 90 days, you're not going to think about this anymore because he created some other shit show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he rolled them back, but he amped them up on China.
He amped him up on China.
And
China said, hold my beer.
Also, but before we even get to China, listen, the Canadians, let me tell you something.
But have you noticed that he left the Canadians alone?
Let me tell you something. But I want y'all to understand how much information is known about America because how we, everybody watches us, right? These other countries are red state targeting. Canada said, we're not going to import any more of the Kentucky bourbon. We know that's a red state, and we're your number one exporters.
Yep.
We're going to shut that down, and they're feeling it.
They are. And did you see the footage of in the liquor stores? Like it's just empty, bare.
It's empty.
Yeah.
And
they're proud of it.
Listen, very proud because there's one guy, he's a Canadian. He said, let me tell you something. Canadians are very stubborn.
Yeah.
He said
and they're very proud people.
They had they moved the Heinz 57, I think it's Heinz factory out of Canada. And he said, and from then on out, since y'all moved it, we only sell Frenchies. And that's all we eat. That's the only ketchup we have. He said, we don't mess with Heinz 57, Heinz ketchup anymore. Mm-hmm. They said, oh, you moved it out. And there was another factory that they moved out of Canada. And Canada said, don't worry, we'll just go over here. And we won't even, they said, when you come to Canada, you're like, hey, what's up with Pepsi? They said they moved the Coke plant out of that. And Canada said, oh, yeah?
So we're only going to.
No Coke in the whole country.
Damn.
And they was like, yeah, we good. So you took all those jobs for all these people out of work. And he said, listen, we don't start it, but we'll finish it. He said, hey, go back and look at your research and figure out why your White House got burned down. He said, that was us. We got pissed off and we came and burned the White House down.
No, seriously.
Dead serious.
That is dead ass serious. So, and Canada, outside of the UK, England, I should say, Canada it has been our most friendliest ally, right? Mm-hmm. And they're our neighbors. I mean, Mexico's our neighbors too, but we treat Mexico like shit. I'm not really sure why because
it's not a white country,
right? Because it's right.
Trump calls everybody's not a white country a shithole country.
Yes. But even before Trump, we treated Mexico like shit. But
true.
But Canada is that soft, sleeping giant that you don't even realize how long their reach is because they never flex.
They never flex.
Because they don't have to. When you're he probably won't get me for this, but my brother reminds me of Canada. My older brother Vincent, my oldest brother I should say, very quiet, very calm, but nobody ever messes with him. And somebody that just kind of calm, quiet, don't really say, and you wonder how come nobody ever messes with him? Because once you wake a sleeping giant, it's over, right? And that's Canada. And we, as Americans, because Americans we've been conditioned to believe that we are the best, we are the greatest country in the world. We have this, we do this. We don't even understand as Americans, as American citizens, how dependent we are on everybody. We are so dependent on everybody. We didn't even realize how dependent we are on Canada. And Canada said, "Don't make me flex because I will shut off the power grid to every U.S." But they're petty because they went for the red states first.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because Michigan is right. I remember I went to Michigan when I was in college. My soulmate, Lord Jesus, my sweet mate, she was from Midland, Michigan. And we went up there and hung out, and that's where you could go across the border. You didn't need no passport then. It's back in the 90s. But, and we hung out in Canada or whatever, and they pay their electricity and all that stuff. They get that stuff from Canada. And I thought that was so interesting.
Yeah.
Well, so when the Canadian Prime Minister or whoever he was like, no, I will shut the power source down. Don't play with us. That would be devastating to Americans. But so China.
Listen, the as I go into China, when that president said, I would hate to do it,
but I will.
But I'll shut it off. I'll shut this shit down. Hey, listen.
I love how he gave a little moment of contrition. I mean,
hey. But you keep these up, but you know what he did do? He turned around and said, "Oh, I'll pass this off. I'll pass this cost back off to your people. So the electricity bills, giraffe ass high, okay? Because we putting that tariff on all electricity bills. It's going to cost you $400,000 a day or something like that of what it's going to cost you for the raise that we're going to do in electricity. And you're either going to pay it or you're going to be lights out. Or we will cut it all off." And they have the right to do that because when you have a trade with somebody, they control it. And I'm going to tell you, here's the weird thing about it. If you were to go back and ask these Republicans to give you names of the pillars of the Republican Party, I guarantee you Ronald Reagan would come up. Ronald Reagan said that you do not levy tariffs against your friends, your allies of other countries because you start a trade war that is really, really bad for everybody. Now, even somebody like Ronald Reagan, who a lot of the Republicans would really say that he was just this standard of Republican presidents, his word means nothing after a person like Trump. So now you have to understand how much this party has been hijacked by Trump and his cronies.
You know, I said that the Republican Party is no longer the Republican Party that we all knew. And I remember I used to ask, I don't ask anymore. I used to ask, what happened to the Republican Party? Even though I identified as a Republican on paper. So did you. Well, I know that I'm saying what happened to. Well, I know what happened because everybody who instead of staying to fight, they left.
I'm sorry. I'm wrong. That ain't what happened to the Republican Party.
Obama
happened to the Republican Party. They said we can't have that there happen again.
And let me tell you, why that is. It goes so much deeper. If Obama was a huge fuck up, if Obama would have gotten in there and been a Bush, right? Pick which one. Been a Bush or even a Carter, because we love Jimmy Carter, but Jimmy Carter did not move the needle one way or another. He was just a lame duck. He's just sitting there, right? If Obama was a Nixon, if Obama was a Trump,
I thought you
if
were saying Obama was.
no,
But if he was,
if he was,
yeah.
The response would not be so heavy and vicious, right?
Hmm.
But because he was a really good president. I know people feel like, oh, but when you look at his stats, when you look at what he did, when you look at how he pretty much came in and saved his first term was cleanup, and you look at what he was able to do, and he was damn near blameless. You couldn't find anything on him. Had he not been so fucking perfect, then we wouldn't be in this situation we're in. Thanks, Obama. Thanks for being so great.
And black.
And black.
Because that's what did it. That's ultimately what
But
did it.
Obama just proves our theory, our point. You can be damn near perfect and still and you have to be 10 times better than the most average just to be average.
Hmm.
Because how do you have Obama and then follow up with Donald Trump?
And remember, on this show, I said Obama infuriated them. Trump will empower them.
Trump empowered them, which is why they are so it's so blatant now. And you hear these things and you're like, man, y'all would have never said this. Y'all would have never said this 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It would be career suicide. There is no way. There is no way that Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, any of that whole clown show would be able to survive. And Washington is cutthroat. Politics is cutthroat, but there was still a certain set of decorum that was ribbon, that was threaded through American politics. All that is gone. And I remember I said, if Trump wins the second term, as a matter of fact, the night that he won, I put my Facebook message was, say goodbye to the America that we know, because America will never look the same again.
Mm.
When I said that he is right out of Hitler's playbook, people thought I was just being ugly. You just don't like him. You have Trump hate syndrome, whatever. And I was like, no, I actually read. I actually study. And if I ain't never read and studied, nobody. Listen, I don't care how y'all take this. Adolf Hitler is probably the most studied person I have read more books on Adolf Hitler than I have on anybody else. And I read a lot of books on people because I'm nosy as hell. So and with other people who don't even know Adolf Hitler as well as I do, when they were saying the same thing, listen, this is starting to feel like Nazi Germany. This is starting to feel like Germany, circa 1942. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. So as we talk about with China, China is targeting red states also. They're looking at materials that they use that red states buy the most of, and they're really jacking up prices on those because they are saying, listen, we're going to target everybody that supported Donald Trump. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I always said, well, if we ever got into a situation where the rest of the world kind of come in and do anything on our side.
Nope.
But wait, though. But for them to target the red states, although we all are going to have a suffrage period of this, you can see that they are saying, no, it's not America. They understand, like, no, it's the people who support this guy and this guy's policies, because you are now creating situations to the point to where you want to make sure almost start this. It's almost like World War III would be this financial war, right?
Yeah.
But you got to understand. So most people don't get how the financial dollar works as far as how the American dollar is the world currency. So there are countries that have come together who have started to link up to really undo the American dollar. And those countries are BRIC, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia, and now Africa. Right? These are all major countries that produce a lot of things that are saying, hey, why do we keep using their dollar? And everything that America does is almost giving them more fodder to say, yeah, we probably should break away from this. There are a lot of people in European nations that are like, okay, look, this is probably not going to be too stable if they keep doing this because this is a global society.
Yeah.
You have to work with people in in this world, even to the point to where a lot of people were like, oh, we send so much money to Ukraine for the war, but you got to understand Ukraine is one of the biggest producers of fertilizer. How do you grow your food with fertilizer? Also, there's another like conflict brewing between China and Taiwan. And why does America support Taiwan? Because Taiwan is the maker of the chips that runs everything that you have electronic. Down to your phones in COVID, when it was like ours, it was because they couldn't get those chips produced. And so what the Biden administration did was Taiwan to get some of those chip making plants ties the main is China saying we want it back. Just like Russia saying we want Ukraine back, China is saying we want Taiwan back. So the thing is, America will do all it needs to do because if China gets hands on Taiwan or all the electronic chips, welcome back to the Stone Age. So you have to understand this global society and how it works and how you have to have allies and things like that to be able to work with each other. Is everything done correctly and everything done above board without any type of malicious intent? No, it's not. But this is a big test game that's going on.
It is.
And I'm telling you, you've been, it's,
And we're pawns.
we're
By the way.
pawns. We're,
And China came out and just rocking. And here's why I don't give a damn. And I mean, and all of my black girl luxury groups, my fashion group, and all of my purse groups and groups, by the way, is like I'm gonna wrap this shit up today. But it's all in a frenzy. But I guess the reason why I don't care is because I feel like we knew this already. Everything is that is everything is made in China, right?
Yeah.
They send it over to the host country, which is either Italy or France. Usually, if you're buying a luxury bag from those houses, and then they sew the tag in, and that allows them to say that this was made in Italy.
a lot of people didn't know that though.
I guess not, because people are up in arms about their bags, and I have quite a nice collection of Louis Vuitton bags. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
you've seen me carry some nice ones. But I am the first person to tell you. Well, first of all, the quality of Louis Vuitton has gone all the way to shit. It is not like it used to be. We don't have that. They don't even use real leather. They use a coated canvas, and it is. I mean, it feel like it's made in China, shit. But which is why I'm getting away from LV. I think my last LV bag was last year. I'm not buying anymore. Plus, I'm really into Brandon Blackwood. Shout out to Brandon Blackwood. If you want to support a really good brand, black owned, Brandon Blackwood. But anyway, so they're up in arms because China was like, oh, since y'all want to play in our face, well, let me spill all the tea.
Yeah.
And everything you can think of is made in China.
Yeah, they have.
But Africa got in and said, but China, tell them where you get your leathers and textiles from.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
but I got a problem with Africans though.
I know you do. You still mad that they sold us over here?
It's not even.
You said, why didn't they come get us? Because they didn't have the internet. They didn't have Google back then.
They did, but Africa, why have y'all allowed the Chinese, Dutch, France, Germany, all these other countries have come in and just picked y'all apart. And y'all, there's no reason why Africans should be living in poverty.
But there,
And when I say Africans, I do understand Africa is a continent, the continent as a whole. While I know no, we have poverty everywhere, but the resources that the whole world taps into from
mhm.
Africa, like,
because of the European standard of the money,
yeah,
right? We have to get the money, and these people bring in the money. And also, there's a concerted effort of everybody to just pillage the whole land, right?
yeah,
And so they know it's mineral rich. So now when you have them brainwashed to operate on the standard of what the Western world does, and now you bring in this fake paper and say you can have this, you can have all these other things like you see on TV and whatever, we buy into it.
I just had a Dr. Umar moment.
There's a what is it?
I just when you said standard, Dr. Umar was on this. This has nothing to do with this, but this is how we do it. Dr. Umar was on somebody's show, and this guy was talking about the standard of beauty, and he said something about obese women, and Dr. Umar said, "So are obese women not beautiful?" And the guy was like, "I mean, yeah, they could be, but as far as like the beauty standards, he said the beauty standards of who?" And the guy was like, "Well, society set by who?" And he was like, "Well, the world, no, said by who? White folks. Say it, white folks." He said, "And why would I care about the beauty standards of a white person?" And the guy
Yeah,
was like,
man, because there's some actual countries in Africa that your belly would be like worship, and the bigger the better for them.
"So
So
you would be
so
you would
well,
be
I
the
think they like the women, right?
okay
So
that,
they
that don't
like
like that don't like blubber on men in Africa, so you might as well stay here." Oak Cliff got you though, no matter what.
That's my
That's your
hood. But the thing is that when you watch how China is moving, and also when you talk about Africa, and I had my boy sent me this video of some dumbass dude trying to break down the tariffs, and it made no sense at all. And I was like,
I
when
don't. Nobody. Tariffs don't work. Tariffs don't
they
work. This.
no, they don't work. But see, here's the premise of the video. Well, your country is trying to take advantage of you. Y'all need a revolution, not a new president. Basically, what it was saying, and it was like, well, the companies. This is to punish the companies who have left America. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. This is to punish the companies who have left America. What, to make them come back? Okay, so let's
So,
ask
so you're
ask
going
these questions.
strong arm and back
You're
then?
gonna strong arm them back. They have to build facilities, and then when they say, "Hey, go to work for this," you're not gonna go to work for that. You're gonna ask a certain salary,
Mm-hmm.
which then that same good that company makes, you're not gonna be able to afford it because you know your Air Max will be $400 from what you gonna charge per hour to be able to make them, and your ass ain't gonna work as fast.
You're
You
not.
want union breaks and shit. You want vacation pay time
I want my
off.
PTO.
You want my
I
PTO.
want.
You
I want
you a
my.
man talking about I need paternity
I mean,
leave
maternity leave
too.
too because, you know. But I will say this: if you go back and research, study for yourself, the three times that this has happened. Well, this is the third time. And what has driven us into a depression, right? And each time it's been 100 years in between. And somebody say, yeah, because uh, it's 100 years in between because nobody's left around to say this is a very bad fucking idea.
Yeah.
But all we had to do is pick up a book and read it because they tell us in the books, hey, this is a bad idea. This does not work. It has never worked for us. It has always led to a depression. And here's the thing I can say. If we go into a depression under these circumstances in these times, it is not going to it is we don't even have the same type of resilience that the Americans had back in the day.
We don't have the resilience that a Canadian has today.
We don't have resilience Canadians have. And if we start to implode from the inside out,
which is the prediction from every other country because they can't beat us any other way unless
Yep.
we tear ourselves down.
And we're definitely going to do that.
Y'all seen Leave the World Behind?
Nobody is going to step in and help America.
No.
Nobody. The only country who I can see that may say we can maybe offer assistance with peaceful talks between the infighting is probably England, the UK. Or I should say the UK. But they also may say, "You treasonous bastards! This what y'all wanted? Get it how you live."
Hey,
Because they may be keeping a score. I would.
yeah, and most people do.
And listen, y'all, we had a revolution over the price of tea. Why are we sitting down on this? Now, do I want a revolution? No, but looks like revolutions of what happens when we need some real change in the country, and this country is known for going to war over tea, the price of tea, that tariffs were attached to.
Yes.
I mean, again,
It's called the Boston Tea Party for
I
those of
have
you who didn't pay no
not
attention in
made
school.
anything I've said up. This is all documented history. You have to pick up a book. You have to Google at this point.
Yeah, and in the great words of Kurt Franklin, do you want a revolution?
You don't get. Let's wrap this shit.
Whoop, whoop. All right. Speaking of, Shannon told you don't commit a crime in America, and the reason is because right now they're sending people over to foreign lands, and they're sending people to El Salvador. They have sent Mr. Abregu over to prison, and he is found to be a upstanding U.S. citizen, father, husband, worker, and everything else.
But it goes deeper than that. They sent an American citizen to a foreign country imprison him without no due process.
Just shipped him out.
And that is listen. I keep telling y'all about what democracy, because somebody, well, this never been a democratic country. We're a republic. Shut up! You sound so fucking stupid. The fact that you can say that out loud means that you live in a democracy. Hello, but democracy is being eroded at record speed. I'm telling you, it is.
You play to win the game.
I'm like, people say the stupidest shit to try to prove their point, and it's all just like dumb ass things. And I'm like, well, God, why did you put me in this time period with surrounded by all these dumb people? Like, I'm not gonna be able to not respond because I need to let them know how dumb they are. Like, that's my Christian duty. And I don't even identify as a Christian anymore, just a believer. But still, democracy is being eroded. I'm telling you, I have been saying this since the beginning. Democracy is like oxygen. You do not understand how important it is until you are in a deficit. And you don't even realize how much oxygen your lungs do. Just like when you turn your head, your lungs just worked. When your lungs are collapsed and that oxygen is depleted, you can't do any of that. That's how serious democracy is, and we are losing it. Like, it has been chipped away. And we reference The Handmaid's Tales all the time, y'all. I'm telling you, I remember the first time I watched it, 2017, 2018, and I thought, damn, this may be America one day, and I'll be damned. We are sliding towards that. I'm talking about, like, who sliding home runs real well. I don't know, baseball. Like Ricky Garcia sliding in. I know it's somebody who plays stickball.
Just go recipe Ricky Henderson. He was good.
Is he black?
Yeah, he was.
His name is Recipe Ricky.
No, I said rest in peace, Ricky Henderson.
Oh,
so he was great. Ricky Henderson also didn't know what to do with his check, so he hung it on the wall. He said now $1 million. He know what to do with it. He put it on the wall. End of the year, his team said, "Hey, we got $1 million short. We traced it down to you. Where is it at?" He said, "On my wall." I ain't no deal to do with it. Please go take that to a bank.
Was it past the allotted time?
I don't know, but he said.
Where was he from?
I don't know where Ricky's from,
Arkansas?
but Ricky said, "I ain't never seen a check that big. I didn't know where to take it, so I just framed it and put it on the wall. I was like, yeah, that.
That's some country shit.
Shout out to Ricky.
How did we get here?
I don't know, but you asked about sliding the whole runs. I went there.
Gotcha.
I was trying to let you cook on the other stuff because I had some stuff come in my head that was going to be jokes. So I was like, I didn't want to get in the way of what you were doing, so I let you have it. But I will say this.
Thanks, Shouty.
I will say this. When we talk about no due process,
Yeah.
to be able to ship an American citizen, see, it's funny because when they're going around here checking for people's legality as a resident, they never see a group of white guys and say, hey, are you guys illegal? But they'll see a group of Hispanics and say, you got to be illegal, right?
And ICE is just walking up to people's houses, trying to get into their houses. They're circling schools, questioning children.
And you picking up all these bad people from work and school.
I thought, because I ain't never, these are the most responsible criminals I have ever met in my life.
Work in school. Like, you literally, listen, Coke rounded them up and said, hey, we're going to have a meeting, and had ICE come in there and get them. All I'm saying is, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Because they got a lot of money. And listen, it ain't going to take much to shut this show down. So
Actually,
a letter in the mail, we'd be like, all right.
Yeah, you can actually send me a lifetime supply of Sprite.
Wow.
I'm trying a little bit.
I see.
I'm tired,
You
too. Let's
want a
wrap this
bunch-
down.
bunch of sugar.
We've been here way too long.
We have
It's
not.
9:35.
So here's the thing I want to say. As Shannon said, the democracy and the things that you are used to is not it. They have said that Trump allegedly wants to do this to
No.
regular domestic
No,
citizens.
they have not said allegedly. Donald Trump, it came out of his mouth. He said, "Yeah, you need more facilities or have some homegrowns."
He told him to build some more.
Yeah, he told me,
Yeah.
you need more facilities.
So hey,
And
hey,
El Salvador said,
all right.
"All right,
And so Mr. Bregu, who got shipped down there, they said, hey, this guy is not. He's not a bad guy. He's not a criminal. Can you send him back?
well, in the beginning, they admitted that they made a mistake.
Yes.
and now they're backtracking and said he's part of the AR-15.
MS-13.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a gang, so I don't know.
I
nothing
know,
about
but say their
gangs.
name right.
Okay.
Please say their name right.
MS.
Don't disrespect them at all.
Oh, I don't know their names.
I don't give a damn. Don't say shit.
Well, I'll let you say it. But in the SCOTUS went back and forth on it, but they finally said, no, we need to bring this man home. I posted on my social media, I don't think they can bring him home because I don't think that man is still alive. And show us proof of life, at least.
And the thing is that when El Salvador said, no, we're not bringing him home, even if he is alive, El Salvador was like, he belongs to us now. Why? Because your tax dollars is paying El Salvador to house these people. And when you say you got some homegrown, understand this. The face of domestic terrorism is a white male between 18 and 47. You think he's talking about those homegrowns?
Nope.
No, he's not. He's not. He's talking about the homegrowns that look like you, your sons, your nephews, your brothers. All the people that are consistently running down here to Huntsville jail in Texas and San Quentin and going to well, I can't remember one Sing Sing and all this stuff. He's talking about them. And what happened is the privatized prison that, because Obama never did nothing, that he made illegal. Well, okay, we'll privatize them in a whole nother country. And trust me, we will invest in it. Because America ain't sending no money without no kickback. All right? So, for all you want to run around here.
And remember, Obama was the deportation in chief.
Yeah.
Obama deported more people than all his.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go. So the thing is that
predecessors.
yeah. So the thing is that they're looking. I wrap this up with this. When you have the U.S. government talking about taking away the Department of Education and all this other stuff, why? Because they want to rock the whole education system. And why do they want to do that? Because they already have a process to show you how many prisons they need depending on what your reading level is by the time you're in the fourth grade. Well, if I put more kids in the space of where they can't read, and me and Shannon know some of y'all parents can't teach your kid how to read because you don't
You don't
know.
know how to read. Yeah.
We went to school with some of them.
Yes, I entered a crush
Well, here's the thing.
in 7th grade because the boy couldn't read. He put
He put his finger
under
on that. I know he
The,
talking about you. You told me about that.
God.
Yeah.
I still hate that to this day.
Yeah, listen, it was a reason our school needed class of 99 to pass the TOS test because the people before them could read.
Listen, do you remember our freshman year? They brought us into the
Auditorium and say, if y'all don't pass this test, they go shut the school down.
It is riding all on y'all.
And what we do?
Academic excellence. Because I will say this, class 99, we were some smart ass people.
We was.
Can't say nothing about them.
So, with that being said, except for the one that did this right here. Yeah. Anyway.
Did he even graduate with us?
Yes, he did.
Oh, damn.
All I'm saying is this. Be smart.
He probably still read like that. Right?
Shut up. Be smart. Hey, listen. We got to get out of here.
That really bummed me out. Y'all have no idea. I came home and told my cousin Fat, and Fat thought that was so funny.
Listen, we got to get out. It don't take much. Yeah, she would turn it off on you in R&B.
This is true. It's
Yeah.
true. It's just true. I get turned off very fast.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And it's not even nothing big. It could be the smallest.
The smallest things. Yeah. Everything that's not like her, small things, she will get turned off by.
Okay.
Keep looking at the camera.
Robust.
Keep looking at the camera. Keep looking at the
Robust
camera.
Robert.
We're doing a show here. Listen, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you for checking out the last podcast. We know we've been kind of hit and miss here, but we're gonna pray to God that He allows some smooth selling, and we're able to have some consistency to do this. And then shout out. Prayers out to Shannon's family.
Thank you.
For I know from the whole listening audience, but also especially for me, that one is my favorite. You're third. Shout out Mimi.
So Tiffany's your favorite number one, and then Mimi.
Yeah,
Mimi, you hear that? TJ made you number 2. You're Kamala Harris.
It's like a 1A, 1B type thing.
Oh, okay.
You're
still B.
Here's what you need to know. This one's third. Okay.
Of the yellows.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody for checking us out. We do appreciate it, and we hope that we did not say anything today that would make this
the